and another in the village of Lac La Belle on Lac La Belle Drive. Images from both fires show the structures reduced to a charred skeleton. It's unclear what the buildings were or if anyone was injured. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Horicon, Wisconsin, still recovering after major storm damage on Wednesday. Mayor Josh Moss tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News nearly 20 people can't return to their homes.
Red Cross and St. Vincent de Paul, who gives out the 3-day, vouchers to stay in hotels. We're looking at putting in 15 into hotels for 3 nights. And because the condition of these apartments, some of them won't be move-inable 9 to 12 months from now. So we're going to have to find them somewhere to move.
Moss says the storm ripped roofs off buildings and forced part of the main road in town to close for a day. An ABC News investigation reveals the vast majority of immigrants detained by ICE are not violent. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers.
Of the more than 400,000 people detained by ICE between January 2025 and March 2026, only 3% had a violent felony conviction in the U.S. And in the first 8 months of 2025, immigration enforcement separated thousands of married couples. In a statement to ABC News, DHS said it continues to go after the worst of the worst and said every individual detained committed a crime when they came into this country illegally.
ABC found out many of those deported are spouses of U.S. citizens. The Kennedy Center board trying a last-minute effort to stop the removal of President Trump's name. Paperwork filed late yesterday asked for a stay of a judge's order to remove the president's name from the building and other associated materials. A federal judge had said the center violated federal law by adding Trump's name without congressional approval. The newest listing on the NASDAQ, also one of the most valuable, SpaceX, has gone public.
The company's controversial chief executive, Elon Musk, watched the ringing of the opening bell at the NASDAQ exchange from SpaceX headquarters in South Texas, saying he originally didn't give the company much of a chance.
I told people this. I said, look, we're probably going to fail, but, we should give it a try, because if there's not a new company that enters space, we will never be a truly spacefaring civilization.
In its stock market debut, SpaceX was offering 555 million shares at $135 apiece. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The markets are up. Dow up 521 points this hour. The NASDAQ up 100. S&P 500 up 44. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:04.
Meet Jim and Rita.
We went on a motorcycle trip.
But somewhere in Wyoming, Jim and Rita were in a serious accident.
They blocked off the interstate and everything and took us to the hospital.
Sometime later, Rita made a discovery.
She had noticed that the bracelet was gone. And I asked the trooper, is there a chance we can go out there and see if it's still there?
And amazingly,
he found a couple of pieces.
It was only 2 tiny links of the bracelet.
Jim was determined to buy Rita another bracelet from Kessler's.
And I had my checkbook in my hand.
But when he arrived there,
and I said, okay, how much? And she says, that's part of our warranty.
Jim and Rita discovered the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty.
It's just amazing that you guys do this.
And it's true.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple.
It surely is miraculous.
Read the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty yourself at Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe. But old, drafty windows can steal that feeling. At Ridgetop Exteriors, we bring that peace of mind back. As Wisconsin's leading Pella Premier contractor, we install beautiful, secure windows and doors that can save you up to 40% on your energy bills. Get a home full of new Pella windows for as low as $198 a month. Learn more at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers are back home. Milwaukee set to begin a 3-game series with the Phillies tonight. Knicks are hoping for their first NBA championship since 1973. Team tips off against the Spurs in Game 5 of the finals from San Antonio tomorrow. The United States begins its World Cup run today, battling Paraguay at SoFi Stadium. And the Packers wrapped up their offseason program. Green Bay concluded its minicamp slate Thursday. Team has one more week of OTA scheduled before breaking until training camp begins. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Kenosha County, full closure on US 45 north and southbound from Wisconsin 142 to the county line, and then 142 east and west from County MB north to south also closed, both of these due to weather damage.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny and 80 today, mostly clear, 62 overnight. Chance of showers and storms late tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high 84. Sunny, breezy on Sunday, high 70. Mostly sunny and 75 Monday, then a chance of showers and storms again Tuesday, high Tuesday 76. 69 in Madison, 68 in Green Bay, 70 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
It's Friday, which means it's time for the Political Power Hour on Point Taken, where the left and right go head-to-head on this week's top stories and issues. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Psych! Steve is still not here. He will be back on Monday, indeed. He is having a great time. He'll be, as I said, he'll be back on Monday, but both Joe and Bill are in the studio today.
Where is he this time?
He's in the Caribbean. I don't know which islands. I knew he went to Jamaica.
How do you get that guy's life? My goodness.
Now, this is our only June appearance together, right?
It is. We better make it a good one.
Better
I hope
make it
you
a good
brought
show.
Your A game,
yeah,
Bill.
I'm ready.
I honestly, because I had my event last night for Sojourners Be the Light, and I'll be totally honest, I'm moving a little bit slower than usual this morning because of that. It's been a long week. And so there was a part of me this morning. I was like, I wonder if they could just do the show without me today.
Stick a quarter on us and we'll go.
Yeah. And here we go. All right. So we have plenty to get to. I'm excited to see both of you. Because, it's been 2 weeks because neither of you were here last week. And
great golf in central Wisconsin.
Good.
Phenomenal.
Northern Wisconsin for me.
Yeah.
Also great golf. Great fishing, boating. God, it's... Get out of Milwaukee.
It's a beautiful
folks.
state. Beautiful state. All right. I feel like, so now what are we, 100 and what days into?
142 days to go?
No.
5 months, right? No. 144 on the election. I think she's talking about how long we've been
I'm talking
since
about
February.
how long we've been in Iran.
Oh, more than 100 days.
I know that it's more than 100 days. And I feel like, and this is probably a bad tell on myself, but in the reading the headlines every day of choosing things to talk about for the show, my eyes are, I've now hit the point where my eyes are glazing over as far as where we are with Iran. And like, I know that there's like, this was a very violent week, and it's like this like Groundhog Day of we're close to a deal, we're close to a deal, close to a deal. And I feel like I probably am not alone here as far as trying to keep up with it, because it just feels like, well, of course. And like, just throwing our arms up that we're still there. And so all I know is that this week, President Trump predicted both death and destruction in the morning. And then by the afternoon, he said, we're on the precipice of a deal, and it just feels like we've been here before.
Yeah, we know what the move is now, which is Monday morning before the markets open for the week, the president says a deal is imminent, and then Friday afternoon, after the markets have closed for the week, is when he gets bellicose and threatens a bunch of violence and, so, we're going to take Karg Island, and then by Monday morning, we'll be right back to where we are. I mean, this is nonsense. It's madness. Every time the parameters of a deal leak out, it looks far worse than the Obama deal ever was, because it's like cash considerations, easing of sanctions, and so a payoff. And then it's like, and within 30 days, we'll get that straight opened. And then we'll have a conversation about the highly enriched uranium that's sitting under rubble. So, and then this week, I learned this is not like they pick up the phone or they send a secure fax. They're using couriers to send these negotiating things back and forth. It's not diplomats in a room. This is insanity. And some of us knew that it was going to be insanity from day one. Thank goodness you finally have more Republicans in the Congress. I think it's up to 4 now, voting to limit the president's authority to conduct this war. At this point, you just got to get out and take a crap deal because the president created a crap sandwich. That's what's on the plate.
Bill?
Well, you can't come every week and say we're close to a deal and then it falls apart. I mean, that looks bad for him. The politics are bad for him as well because, I mean, inflation numbers came out this week. They were higher than expected, not significantly higher, but they're higher nonetheless. And I'm never going to minimize that number because I used it against Biden pretty effectively, I think. And it's a real issue for Republicans running for re-election. Gas prices are a real issue for Republicans running this fall. This war is a real issue. I actually was encouraged when we restarted military strikes this week. I called for that a month ago because I thought it would lead to a conclusion sooner than later. Now, listen, none of us have the facts that the people in the White House do or on the National Intelligence Team do related to all of this, but it just seemed like these guys were never going to – a handshake was never going to be good enough. It was always going to be Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football, and they would keep pulling it away. And I think the president has tried to do this with as little bloodshed as possible, but they don't get that. They just don't get that. What they got this week was when the bombs were flying. All of a sudden, all the communication from the Gulf states was, oh, hey, hold on, let's slow this thing down. I would continue that until this ends. I don't see another path to a peaceful resolution of this. I mean, again, if this was the first week where he said we're close to a deal and then a term or two kind of was preventing it from getting done, that'd be one thing. But we're like, this is the 7th or 8th week.
No, this is 37 times in the last 2 months the president has said that the U.S. and Iran were close to ending the war.
Talk about Lucy with the football.
And to Joe's point, I am actually going to agree with him. I think the president has been very good at managing the market, right? The things he says has kept the market high. So anyone who has a 401k, in the last 18 months, you've done better than at any point in your lifetime in your 401k. And the president does get some credit for that. But at the end of the day, this thing has to end or there will be consequences for Republicans in 144 days.
There will be consequences. I think the ship has already sailed on the politics of this. The other complicating factor is I do believe that for about 80 days now, Trump has been desperate to get out of this. The problem is he can't because he's got the wrong partner. Yeah. He didn't build a coalition. He, as I described it early on, got dog walked into this thing by Netanyahu, and Netanyahu doesn't want to stop fighting.
He has no interest. I mean, that's the report.
And he wasn't even part of the deal this week, apparently.
But that's the problem because every time Iran and the U.S. are like, okay, let's go back to our corners and live to fight another day, Iran says, but you got to get Israel to stop in Lebanon, and Bibi keeps going.
Has no interest.
So this is a mess. It's a strategic blunder. It is a financial blunder, both for the U.S. Treasury, because this is now costing upwards of $50 billion. It's a catastrophe for the pocketbooks of Americans trying to fill up their tank and go to work every day. This is out of control, and it was all because Trump made a dumb choice.
So as you mentioned, the war powers votes that continue to happen, there's been 4 Republicans. But what if there continues to be more Republicans who decide to rein him in? What does that actually look like? This is not a man who always does what he's told.
Doesn't
as far
respect
as,
the will of Congress?
Yeah, or doesn't respect the limitations on his power. And so what does that even look like, even if more Republicans were to say, we gotta stop this?
I don't think there's a straightforward answer to that. I think the simplest way I can describe the complexity of the reality of it is because it's not like if both houses pass, say your war powers are curtailed, it's not like a magic wand has been
we can't
snapped
get out of
and
there.
suddenly gone the next day. But we are now seeing Trump at his weakest politically and in terms of his relationships with Congress on other national security issues, right? So he tries to get this hack Pulte to be the new director of national intelligence, and Congress actually finds a spine and pushes back and goes, no friggin' way. This guy is not qualified. He's
Zero
not
chance.
serious.
Yeah.
And we're going to use our leverage with the FISA
And Congress
702.
won on that.
They
And
did.
Congress won. And so that's what I mean. Is like
he nominated someone else yesterday.
But every time Trump shows more weakness and his standing goes further down, it makes everything else harder for him with the Hill, like a potential reconciliation 3.0. They finally got 2.0 done, which we could talk about. But that took a hell of a lot longer than they thought it was going to. And that's in part because Trump keeps messing up the politics of Capitol Hill.
All right, let's take a break and come back and talk about Reconciliation 3.0, but also the fact that ICE now has a lot more funding. All right, Bill McCoshen, Joe Zepecki, I am Kristen Bry, and this is Point Taken.
We demand a lot of our shoulders and hands, our hips and knees, our backs and feet. They do life's heavy lifting, so we owe them the greatest attention in return. The Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network provides expert orthopedic and spine care to help you move, lift, turn, and reach with the most possible ease. Whether you have a sports-related injury or a nagging condition that just won't go away, excellence should always be an option. So we make our care available in nearby locations and offer same-day ortho and spine appointments when relief can't wait. It's how to recover quicker, prevent small concerns from becoming big ones, and solve complex issues with the expertise you can only get with academic medicine. We're given just one body, so let's tend to it, check in on it. Let's give it the greatest of care, because when it's tuned up and injury-free, we can always be pushing ahead. To learn more about our nationally recognized orthopedic and spine care, visit freighter.com/ortho.
Father's Day is coming up, and let's be honest, Dad doesn't need another tie. Give him something he actually wants. New windows that lower energy bills, a durable new roof, beautiful siding, or a bath remodel he can brag about to every guest who visits. And during the Exterior Pros and Baths June savings event, you'll get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Somebody better tell Philly their bell is about to get rung.
He took a rip and he drilled it high and deep into the night. Watch it fly. Goodbye.
The Brewers square off with the Phillies tonight in Milwaukee.
A bomb of epic proportions for William Contreras. You had to see it to believe it.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen Bry. Steve will be back on Monday. It is Friday, so Bill McCoshen and Joe Zepecki are in studio.
You do sound a little tired.
It's been a long week. I'm holding this whole show together. Steve's on his 5th vacation of the year.
Plus, Albach, there's so much energy just keeping up with that. God, did you see their pre-tweet yesterday or 2 days ago when he was on the show? Oh my God,
Todd came in fired up yesterday.
Todd came in fired up. It was his Festivus day. Yeah,
actually, he used that word.
Yeah, I know he did.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, so President Trump Wednesday endorsed a third $350 billion reconciliation bill and is urging Congress to immediately pass it and also pass the SAVE Act with it. And so it doesn't sound like this necessarily has the support needed, though, because Thune has said multiple times that he does not think that they have the votes for the SAVE Act. And so where does this actually go? And is there an opportunity to separate the two so that because part of this is also how much of our reserves we've spent on this Iran war, right? As far as a lot of our warheads and everything. And so does he have the votes?
They have a procedural problem. Thune does not have the votes. Well, the parliamentarian will rule the SAVE Act portion of it to be non-germane, which means it can't be part of the package. Is it an interpretation that could be different if there was a different parliamentarian? For those that follow the White House closely, you might remember that the president's been calling for Thune to fire the parliamentarian for the last several weeks. I don't know that you're going to automatically get a different interpretation. You might.
Let's chop up the interpretation quick. My understanding of the rule is that it has to have a fiscal impact on the budget to qualify for reconciliation.
Right.
How in the world do you reinterpret or spin changes to the voting process is a budget issue?
So the way to do it would be to put money in for more vote counters in California, for example.
And do you think that would unlock the whole thing about IDs and women who have changed their name?
As long as there's a fiscal connection to it. And I don't think they're thinking hard enough about that. There's always a workaround if you put a little time and effort into it. But that so far has not presented itself. So do they have the votes? Was your KB's question? No, not yet. I mean, this Congress is worn out. They haven't done a ton, but they're worn out and a little hacked off, and they'd like the August recess to start earlier. Frankly, I think.
Joe,
Trump again has created a problem by himself. Where if you are John Cornyn, if you are Tom Tillis, if you are who's the Louisiana guy,
Cassidy,
if you're Bill Cassidy, why the hell do you want to do anything for this guy? Who went to the mattresses?
Or Nancy Mace yesterday? She said she's going to burn the whole place down. Did you see that?
We're going to get to.
Oh my God!
We're going to get to fifth place Mace.
Unstable.
So that's 3, and it's currently 53 Republicans. So I guess they still could have
He
JD
took a good
Vance
whack at
break the tie.
Murkowski from the Oval yesterday.
Collins has a political fight.
He endorsed her this week.
Yep, but she's got a political fight on her hands, and McConnell, I think, is just waiting to twist one final knife before he goes. So the math is not math.
That's what I'm going to say. Like, so what? Because even with the ICE funding that did get passed, it was passed 2014 to 2012. So we're still seeing razor thin margins in the House, let alone having, what was that, 6? 5?
5 to 6.
5 pissed off-ish Republicans in the Senate.
Well, remember the whole budget shutdown was Democrats demanding, different reforms to ICE, and they got none of those. So ultimately, this was a win for Republicans to get that across the goal line, but it shouldn't have been that hard. That's for sure.
And as you said, Democrats won that shutdown fight because they made Republicans take the vote. They separated it out. I thought you said that.
Oh, I didn't say the Democrats won. I think the Republicans ultimately won it because Democrats didn't get any of the reforms that they were seeking. They could have. Could have gotten some of them, and they overplayed their hand.
What do we make of the fact that they now have ICE for an annual budget now has more money than they need for the rest of President Trump's term? Is this really necessary?
No, it's not.
Maybe. I mean, there continues to be national polls. Marquette would be just one, their national poll this month, but there are 2 others this month that show that a majority of voters nationwide still want all illegals to be people who are here illegally, whether they're criminal or not, to be deported. 56-44. So that hasn't changed. That might have been the number one reason Trump got reelected, or if it wasn't number one and the economy was, then it was number 2. So I think you will continue to see deportations, but they'll be done in a different way. I think Markwayne Mullin has done fairly well. I mean, we're not storming cities like we did in Minneapolis, which was, overkill for sure. And I think him and Holman have figured out how to do this sort of in a more measured way, and I think ultimately that's going to continue.
I mean, I was just going to say, it does feel like for where we started in the beginning of the year versus where we are now, it's certainly not in.
It's not front page every day.
It's not front page every day, and I'm sure that ICE is still around and people are still getting deported. I actually have no idea what the numbers have been. Like what is going on with Alligator Alcatraz or whatever, all these different detention centers that were being built. Is like that what all this money is still going towards? Are we going to see another surge? Or is it just being done in a more covert way in order to not piss people off?
Why isn't Stephen Miller doing his daily body count anymore? Like as if this were Vietnam and that's how you measure success. Here's my hot take on this. What every Republican in Congress just signed off on is another boondoggle of corruption for billionaires. You literally cannot spend the pile of money that they just got on hiring more agents, on surging agents into communities, on better training. You can't do it. It's too much money. They are going to be open for business and given no bid contracts and build in these detention facilities that will never have a single person in them. It is going to be corrupt as hell, just like the rest of this administration has been, because they and their buddies are getting rich while everybody else is paying more at the pump. And that's like, I think it will take 10 years to untangle the corruption that is going to come out of just that $70 billion alone. Maybe we can get, son of Elon Musk or a Doge 2.0 on that, because that's what's going to happen.
All right, let's take a break. Joe Zepecki, hot takes. Bill McCoshen, I'm Kristen Bry, and this is Point Taken.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Are you thinking about what you're going to do this summer? Maybe into the fall, looking to plan that cool Wisconsin trip, take advantage of the outdoor beauty. Maybe it's museums, maybe it's a family trip, or how about a romantic getaway? We've got you covered on Experience Wisconsin. We're going to twist you around the state, show you some cool places, introduce you to some amazing folks. This week on Experience Wisconsin, it is Elkhart Lakes Road America and iconic Ishnala Supper Club. Saturdays at 1 on WTMJ.
Hi, it's Kristen Bry from Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. You know, in radio, people hear your voice first, but when I'm out in the community meeting listeners and hosting events, I'm told that my smile is my signature. That's why I trust Dr. James Michaels and the team at Economawalk Dental Care, and yes, I drive all the way from Milwaukee to Economawalk to see Dr. Michaels and his incredible staff. Because when you find a dental team that makes you feel comfortable, listened to, and cared for, that drive is worth it. Dr. Michaels has been practicing in Economawalk for more than 25 years, and his approach is simple. Treat people the way they want to be treated. So whether you're due for a cleaning, thinking about cosmetic options, or need a dental home where you feel at ease, call Economawalk Dental at 262-567-7224. Economawalk Dental Care with Dr. James Michaels, the team I trust with my smile.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know dads, the ones who know how to build it all, grill it all, and fix it all while still taking the time to share it all. So show them how much you care with great Father's Day gifts for one-of-a-kind dads, like men's work and sport short-sleeve plaid shirts, just $19.99. And new at Blaine's, save $50 on the Milwaukee M18 leaf blower when you buy a qualifying Milwaukee line trimmer. Find value on the Gifts Hill value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Welcome back. We only have about a minute. Do either of you have any wrap-up thoughts with... Because when we come back, we're going to talk about Graham Platner, which I'm sure everyone's going to have a lot of feelings about, and any takeaways from Tuesday's primaries. But we have 45 seconds.
Let's talk about fifth place Mace.
Okay, yeah.
Nancy Mace, fifth place, sold her soul, and went all in on Sharia law will never reign in South Carolina for a fifth place finish. I hope she is able to exit Congress in a few months and work on herself and get the help that she needs. Genuinely.
What does she do next?
Podcast or...
I mean, would she have an audience for that, though? Yep. Like, is she popular enough to...
On some shows, she may be the anti-Trump person, right? Whether it's MS Now or CNN. But
MS Now is not hiring
listen,
her.
I just want to repeat this for the listeners before the segment ends. I have never been a fan of hers. I have been critical of her. I think she's wildly unstable. There's something clearly wrong with her. Time to go.
Time to go. All right. News is next, ABC, and then local headlines. This is Point Taken.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A federal judge has agreed to extend the court-ordered block on President Trump's $1.8 billion settlement fund, compensating those who claim to have been victims of a weaponized government. The fund to be blocked until further notice from the court. The Trump administration appealing another federal judge's ruling ordering the president's name removed from the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. The administration argues that the president's hand-picked board should be able to add a secondary name to the facility. A long night of violent storms across the Midwest. In Illinois, ABC's Alex Perez.
Here in Streeter, there are personal belongings scattered everywhere. Just a reminder of how powerful this storm was. Now, the difficult process of assessing the damage is only just beginning, but officials here say thankfully thankfully, there are no reports of any fatalities.
SpaceX to be on the New York Stock Exchange, or the NASDAQ, actually. It's not trading quite yet. It can take time for brokers to set up all their buy and sell orders, but it's just about for its first trade. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. Our National Weather Service says a tornado was confirmed just before 6:15 p.m. Thursday near Sturtevant. Nearby Village of Summers is reporting significant storm damage. Some 30,000 We Energies customers lost power. Down power lines prompted closures of parts of State Highway 142 and US 45, still closed this morning. Sentencing this afternoon for Tremaine Jones, convicted in the killing of Milwaukee police officer Kendall Quarter. Quarter's partner, Officer Christopher McCrae, was badly hurt when they were responding to a call last summer on the city's north side. Jones could get life in prison. City of Milwaukee's Office of Equity and Inclusion is now known as the Department of Compliance and Engagement. The city says program changes are minimal. The department will continue to focus on contract compliance, the residence preference program, small business development, and accessibility. Time now for news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 478, 51,326. The Nasdaq is up 157 at 25,967. S&P 500 is up 51 points at 7,446. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic in Kenosha County. Full closure, US 45 north and southbound from Wisconsin 142 to the county line, and 142 east and west closed from County MB north to MB south due to weather damage. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny and 80 today. Mostly clear, 62 overnight. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Chance of showers and storms later on in the day. High Saturday, 85. Sunny, breezy, 70 on Sunday. Mostly sunny and 75 on Monday. Then a chance for showers and storms again on Tuesday. High Tuesday, 76. 71 in Madison, 70 in Green Bay, 72 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with the new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. Life today can keep us stuck in stress mode. Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension, feeling worn down. At Connect Chiropractic, the focus isn't just masking symptoms, it's finding the root cause, helping your nervous system function the way it was designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. If you deal with headaches, sleep struggles, or neck and back pain from long days at a desk, take a closer look. Start with a first visit at Connect Chiropractic. It includes advanced scans, digital x-rays, helping uncover what's really going on. Connect Chiropractic.
Welcome back. Oh man, I haven't heard this song in a minute. Throwback to. Oh, they can't hear it.
I can't hear it. I can't hear anything.
All right. Well,
we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. All right. Graham Platner. Do we have thoughts? I'm imagining that we do. And so, as you probably know, because we talked about it, I talked about it with Jake Curtis, Graham Platner won in the Maine Democratic primary for Senate on Tuesday by 50 points. There was not that much of a protest vote, I don't think, as far as for Janet Mills, or I forgot who the third option was on the Democratic ticket. And it presents a very interesting character question as far as where I think it
Where
is.
did you come down on it? Where do you come down on it?
What I keep coming back to, and Steve and I talked about this a while ago, and like I think I am very happy I do not have to vote in the main election. Like I am not a Maine voter, and this is ultimately a Maine election, right? Like I was reading some interesting not testimony, but like people who are Maine voters who were talking about the fact like how weird it feels to be inside of a national smear campaign. And what I think is really interesting about Maine is because it's so small and because of the groundwork Graham Platner has put in, I mean, he has probably shaken hands with potentially half of the electorate already. And so there is something to be said is when you look someone in the eye and you have a conversation with them in person and you feel like you know them versus reading about someone. And I still think he has a chance to win this, even though for all of us who for all of us who are watching this from the outside and seeing the list of things that feel like strikes against him. But I think the work that he has done and how people feel about him, I still think this is going to be a really close race. And I also think it's just inside of a two-party system, when you get wildly imperfect candidates who have backgrounds and track records, you ask people to whether they feel like they're holding their nose and they vote anyways. Because, like, you know, when Jake was here on Wednesday, he listed off all the things for Graham Platner. I was like, are you really going to look at me with a straight face and say that you didn't vote for Donald Trump? And he tried, you know, and to his credit, he's like, well, in the primary, I supported Ron DeSantis or I supported Ted Cruz. I was like, but who'd you vote for in the general? And that's the thing. This is the question that we get as voters, we get put in the position to make these choices of like, do we vote for the people who are going to vote for the policies that we want despite whatever their background is, or we vote for character?
We don't vote for character
anymore. For sure.
Yeah, I heard I'm going to challenge one of your points. So Janet Mills got 58,000 votes on Tuesday, which may not seem like a lot in a statewide election, except for Maine only has 1 million people. One. Two, Susan Collins won by 78,000 votes 6 years ago. So it actually could be enough to be the difference in the race if those people decide not to go for Platner. Listen, we have replaced imperfections for power. If it's your guy, you're going to be with him, warts and all, or her. If it's you just don't. The imperfections aren't disqualifying like they were not that long ago. Now, the one thing I would say about this particular race, they've hit Platner pretty hard already, and he's survived that. I was in D.C. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It appears the best opposition research on him will not come out until after they could replace him on the ballot, which is the second Tuesday of July. It's not actually the primary. They can still replace him up till the second Tuesday in July. If there are penis pics of him that he sent to young women, he's done. That's a bridge too far for anybody.
It's a pretty big if. That's a hell of a.
It's also very specific.
Yeah.
Do you know something?
We'll see.
So, I've been thinking a lot about this because in my own household we have different opinions about this, and for me it boils down to this. I've never heard Donald Trump apologize for the way he treated women and pledge to be better. I've never heard Ken Paxton say that he flew too close to the sun in how he handled public monies and he would be better. But I have already heard Graham Platner say, I screwed up. I was messed up from war. I came back and I did a lot of stupid things, and I have worked on myself, and I pledge to be better, and I am trying to be better and become the man I want to be every single day. That, to me, is a hell of a lot better vessel for our politics than people who believe they can do no wrong. Because none of us are perfect, right? We all fall down. And when you look at the squishy, valedictorian, type A, 1600 SAT, perfect little prince and princesses who have been running Washington, D.C. for the last 100 years, I think people look at that and go, I don't know, maybe it's time for somebody with some warts who at least is honest enough with me to go like, yeah, I screwed up. I was a bad guy, but I worked on it. I got better, and I want to take what I've learned and experienced to Washington and represent you. That to me is more compelling than Ken Paxton's best defense for his own foibles is apparently dressing up James Tallarico in a dress with AI and trying to win his campaign that way. I'll ride with Graham Platner, an imperfect person trying to be better based on the things I know about today, not based on speculation from you.
The real problem he has, in addition to the imperfections, which he may get over, is Susan Collins is a very strong candidate.
Mm-hmm.
She was losing on every single poll leading up to her last election 6 years ago by as much as 12 points. She won by 8. That's a 20-point swing. Means the polling didn't capture what was actually going on the ground. 1. 2, she's the appropriations chairperson. She can bring home hundreds of millions of dollars to Maine, and I think Mainers get that. And so I don't think and she's the most bipartisan member of the Senate. I mean, I don't think Mainers are going to replace her with this, imperfect guy for nothing. I think he's got a bigger hill to climb than most Democrats give him credit for.
I think it's still I'm not saying it's a cakewalk. I just think it's interesting. It's just the psychology behind it. And I was kept thinking of, as you were talking, Joe, and you and Bill and I were talking about before the show, of this rise of Hunter Biden on Twitter.
It's amazing.
And there is something, I think, in the zeitgeist or the ethos of people yearning for people to own their mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people are like, why do I like Hunter
It's
Biden
a
all of a
critical
sudden?
formula. Joe
and it's
pointed
because
it
he's
out.
owning.
Yeah.
I have done all of the things there's nothing you can do to hurt me because I've already done enough to hurt myself.
If it's not the first rule of politics, it's the second rule. If you make a mistake, you better own it. Yeah. And if you don't, it's going to come back to bite you.
But that hasn't for Trump, who's never apologized, right?
It hasn't. For some reason, it hasn't affected Trump. That is correct.
I would argue it is now. The other thing that's changed in the Senate is I think the conventional wisdom has changed, and Maine is no longer essential for Democrats. I sent you that Ohio Senate poll last night. The Alaska, the story keeps getting worse for Republicans there because now there's another Dan Sullivan on the ballot.
He got kicked off last night.
Oh, I thought they said he could continue.
No,
okay,
he's off.
But Peltola is a great recruit.
For sure.
So
at the best.
Maine is no longer essential to Democrats winning back the Senate, and that may impact the way that some people, down
as
the line
Democrats get their hopes up about Ohio, Sherrod Brown is trying to make a comeback. Let me just say, the last United States senator who lost and then won a different Senate seat in the same state was Slate Gordon in 1988. So it's been almost 40 years.
It's been a minute?
It's been a minute.
All right, let's take a break. This is Point Taken.
Mark Reinhardt is IT manager at ACS Group. Mark, your company has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for years. Right out of the blocks, would you recommend James to others?
Yes, I've had nothing but a great experience with James Imaging Systems, and I would definitely want to share that with others.
A great experience in what way?
I think it's just the personal touch. They actually listen to our needs, walking our business, and finding out what solutions we need to do our job better.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation, adding up to more bang for your business technology dollar.
Yeah, we are absolutely getting a return on investment on the dollars we're spending with James Imaging Systems.
Mark, safe to say ACS Group is happy?
Very happy with James Imaging Systems. People are smiling.
Put a smile on your face with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Milwaukee Weight Loss knows the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no drugs or surgery, and they will show you how to keep it off for good. Get your confidence and your health back. Right now, $200 off on their summer special for a limited time only. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to book your free consultation. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management.
We have a contractual agreement that we give our clients, this fiduciary standard of care. We also say fee-only fiduciary. So a lot of people are kind of twisting it these days and saying, I'm a fiduciary some of the time. I call them part-time fiduciaries. And that's the reason why we say fee-only fiduciary. That means we do not accept commissions.
Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Click Get Started at AnnexWealth.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Take your family to the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford for the all-you-can-eat Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry for $8.99. Wow. You'll pay twice that elsewhere. Desserts or buy one, get one free. Google The Mineshaft. Call and reserve your table, The Mineshaft.
Welcome back to Point Taken. We're here with Bill McCoshen and Joe Zepecki on the Political Power hour and a half. And before we move on to Wisconsin news and governor's race, and if we can see another deal, any closing thoughts? Because I know, Bill, before the show, you tweeted out maps and races that we're looking at, and the race to 218. And so final thoughts on interesting races to watch as primaries continue to happen.
The maps have finally shooken out for this cycle. And I think it's important to say for this cycle because there will be more redistricting between now and 2028, potentially even including Wisconsin. Republicans are now in the lead to maintain Congress, but they are not at 218. But on the three major indicators, Cook Political Report, Inside Elections, and I forget the name of the third one, Republicans range from 212 to 216, which 6 months ago would have been unheard of. So anything's possible, but they still need the right global environment, and that means no war in Iran, and it means gas prices closer to $3. They don't have to be $3. If they are, that's phenomenal, but there has to be a noticeable decrease in gas prices.
So ultimately, how many races are we actually looking at in the House that are going to be competitive?
12 to 18, maybe 20 on the top end.
You think more than that?
Give me the over. We've seen another domino fall, more will. This week, American Bridge, one of the Democratic groups, is doing what I have been advocating for months. They're saying, I see your conventional wisdom top 20 House races, and they said, screw it. We got 50 million. We're going into the next 12. And what you're going to see between now and Labor Day is probably one more round, maybe two more rounds, where the playing field expands.
Yeah.
More, the NRCC and the DCCC will do more polling. They are going to find districts all over this great nation where Democrats are in races or ahead in races that 6 months ago never seemed conceivable. There's going to be a rash of polling on these new Texas districts, and they're going to go, oh, crap, maybe this was a dummy mander. So by Labor Day, the playing field will be even bigger, and then it just becomes a question of how much defense Republicans have to play. Do they have to start doing things like doing to Derek Van Orden what Democrats did to Brad Pfaff in 2022 and saying, sorry, buddy, we got to cut you loose.
You're on your own.
You can't win. You're on your own. We got to go protect a R+10 district. That is how I see the next few months shaping up.
We'll see.
We'll see. Actually, Jazz, mark that so we can come back to it at Labor Day to
Book
see
it.
how right Joe was or was not. All right, when we come back, I haven't read anything about this, but it seems like Bill might have some inside knowledge that this budget deal in Wisconsin may not be dead. Stay with us.
Mark Olson here. Now is the time to declare your independence from the outdated kitchen during the Redo Cabinets 4th of July event. Redo Cabinets, where hundreds of homeowners have discovered the benefits of refacing old kitchen cabinets, celebrates America's 250th birthday. Redo Cabinets, where you'll find premium cabinet facings made here in the USA, and you could choose from dozens of colors, various hardware, and accessory selections. During the Redo Cabinets 4th of July celebration, get $1,776 off your entire cabinet project and a free backsplash, and no payments for 12 months. That's right, no payments until 2027. Incredible savings. Call us today for a free, no obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us online at redocabinets.com. Don't replace it, redo it with Redo Cabinets.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You know, it's been more than 3 years since we got our garage door from J.D. Griffiths, and it still looks brand new. I'm telling you, it's quiet, it's smooth, and honestly, I didn't realize how much of a difference a quality door would make until we upgraded. J.D. Griffiths, they've been doing it for decades. They're local, trusted, and they handle everything. Try the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ. Schedule your free consultation from J.D. Griffiths.
ACS Group has business technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. ACS Group's IT manager, Mark Reinhardt.
I feel James Imaging Systems, being local, I get to meet the people, see the people. They come in and find out what our needs are, and they're just great folks.
Great folks who partner with you and your business.
Absolutely. I categorize James Imaging Systems as a partner because they come in, again, sit down, understand our needs, listen to what things are bothering us, obstacles that we have, and they help bring us really cost-effective solutions.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and business technology expertise to help your business do business better.
That's huge for me and keeps us running smoothly, and we're able to focus on other things for this business.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Take your family to the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford for the all-you-can-eat Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry for $8.99. Wow. You'll pay twice that elsewhere. Desserts or buy one, get one free. Google The Mineshaft. Call and reserve your table, The Mineshaft.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right.
Never record between commercials.
Did you put makeup on during the break? What just happened?
I looked at myself. I put lip gloss on because I looked at myself in the camera and I go, I look really washed out. So I put a little color on my lips. So, all right. Bill, what do you know about a potential, what did you call it? A son of the budget deal?
Son of the budget deal, tax deal. So
Son of a bee.
Son of a bee, right? I might have been with a couple of the GOP leaders in the last week or so in southeast Wisconsin, and there are still discussions between at least Assembly Republicans and Governor Evers. They would both like to see this get done. We saw late last week that Devin LeMahieu concurred and said, hey, if 2 of the 18 senators who voted no come forward and say we're going to switch our vote, we'll come back.
With no changes. Same bill, just we got
that's the question,
we whipped the votes.
Right? With no changes, you can only conclude that 2 Republicans would change their mind and come back. A Democrat might be able to ask for something and potentially get it to change their vote. So that's the thing to watch. From a GOP standpoint, you want to vote on this bill because you've got Jeff Smith and Robin Vining on the wrong side of this bill, which can be used against both of them. If Jeff Smith is one of the people that come back and say, well, I want something for the Heartworks facility in Eau Claire that is going to replace 2 hospitals, he might get it. And then he'll be on the right side of the bill. So there's politics involved, but the point for the listeners is don't count out that tax rebate just yet. The at least 2 out of the 3 powers that be are still working on it pretty hard.
Joe, what do you put the likelihood at?
I'm not holding my breath.
Why?
Because I think as the political environment continues to be what it is or get worse for Republicans, more Democrats are thinking ahead about how much more flexibility they have in the budget negotiations for the next biennium with that surplus sitting there.
How much, because we have about a minute and a half, how much do you think they're counting their, what is it? Counting their eggs before the
chickens
whatever.
Before they hatch.
Yeah, that thing. Because we were having a conversation this week about DPI and Act 20 money, and no one said it out loud, but it's hard to think that maybe one of the reasons they're sitting on it is, again, if like, there's this promise of a trifecta. And how much do you think that is the smart move of holding on to money, holding on to what can be done if Democrats get a trifecta versus trying to get something done now?
I don't know, but I know this. One budget will not fix the 15 years of Republican rule or the 30 to 40 years since Wisconsin's school funding formula got broken. And so what I would advise my Democratic friends is even as you are planning ahead and looking ahead, start understanding now this is not a one budget fix, and don't overpromise because you're setting yourself up to underdeliver.
So there's two parts of it, right? There's the budget deal itself, which was the right vote was yes. And Robin Vining and Jeff Smith are on the wrong side of that vote. However, both of them are likely to be in the legislature next year. They're both running, Smith for re-election, Vining for the Senate seat. And they're also jockeying for positions, potentially being on the Joint Finance Committee, potentially being a committee chair of an important committee. And Dianne Hesselbein, the minority leader, wanted a no. So ultimately, she got the no she wanted from the people she wanted it. But you will never get punished by your voters if you support a bipartisan deal, particularly if it's the one that your governor initiated. So I think they both made a mistake. We'll see if it ends up costing them.
All right. Well, there is a new poll out for the governor's race for the Democrats. So we will talk about that on the other side of the news.
When should you take Social Security? Hi, I'm Tony Drake, certified financial planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. For many retirees, Social Security is one of the most important income sources they'll have. But deciding when to claim your benefits isn't always simple. Claim early, and your monthly benefits may be permanently reduced. Wait too long, and you might miss years of income you could have received. The right strategy depends on several factors: your health, your spouse's benefits, your other retirement income, and how taxes could affect what you keep. At Drake & Associates, we help Wisconsin families coordinate Social Security with the rest of their retirement plan so it works alongside your investments, taxes, and income strategy. To help you get started, I'm offering my complimentary retirement toolkit. It includes my book, Get Retirement Ready, and 5 guides that explain how Social Security fits into a complete retirement plan. Call 414-897-9522 or text TAX to that number for your no-cost toolkit. That's 414-897-9522 or text the word TAX to 414-897-9522. Because when it comes to Social Security, the right timing can make a big difference.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Hi, I'm Jim Frucci, Managing Partner and PGA Professional at Morningstar Golfers Club, and I'd like to personally invite you to play your next round of golf at Morningstar. Lush green fairways, velvet smooth greens, magnificent vistas from high above our championship golf course. Morningstar was created with the serious golfer in mind, and it continues to be the public course by which all other area public courses are measured. Book your tee time today and reserve a spot on our membership wait list. Come out and see what all of Southeast Wisconsin's been talking about. Hey, you've played the rest. Now play the best.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout Southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Somebody better tell Philly their bell is about to get rung.
He took a rip and he drilled it high and deep into the night. Watch it fly. Goodbye.
The Brewers square off with the Phillies tonight in Milwaukee.
A bomb of epic Epic proportions for William Contreras.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 73 degrees. It's going to be mostly sunny today with a high of 80. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. The city of Kenosha offering curbside collection for residents with storm-related debris.
Kenosha Public Works will be offering pickup until Thursday, June 18th for downed tree limbs and brush resulting from the thunderstorms. The department encourages residents to call to be placed on a collection list and be prepared to provide information regarding the size and volume of the debris. Additionally, Public Works is reminding people to use caution around downed trees, damaged utility infrastructure, power lines, and other hazards. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
President Trump says terms that were leaked related to a deal with Iran are fake news and have nothing to do with what's been agreed to. In a post on Truth Social, he pushed back on reports from Iranian state media and called Iranian leaders very dishonorable. More from ABC's Karen Travers.
These reports in Iran state media are saying what they say are in the deal, and several of these items have been very clear red lines for the administration. They say that there is no agreement made on Iran's nuclear program, that will be dealt with in the next phase of negotiations. In terms of the Strait of Hormuz, they say there is no transfer of control, and two very important things here, too. The Iranians say that there will be a lifting of sanctions on Iran and the unfreezing of Iranian assets.
Trump said yesterday he'd canceled scheduled strikes against Iran as progress was being made on a deal. U.S. Park Police have started an investigation after the numbers 8647 appeared etched in the grass near the Washington Monument Thursday. Images taken from the top of the monument showed the numbers, which were apparently created from dead or discolored grass. Investigators have taken samples for testing to determine what caused the discoloration. Trump administration fighting a court order to remove the president's name from the Kennedy Center. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
The president's name is supposed to come down and be removed from the Performing Arts Center by today, but late yesterday, the Justice Department filing a notice of appeal challenging a ruling that found the attempt to rename the center was illegal. The Justice Department is arguing that removing Trump's name now would, quote, impede the center's fundraising efforts.
A federal judge said the center violated federal law by adding Trump's name without congressional approval. A state lawmaker pushing back against the latest tuition increase approved by the universities of Wisconsin. Republican State Senator Rob Hutton says the UW system should look for ways to reduce costs and improve efficiency after Regents approved a 2% tuition hike for the upcoming school year.
Higher education remains one of the most important investments a person can make. But as families are faced with rising costs on nearly everything, we owe it to the students and taxpayers to ask if our state is doing enough to make UW education affordable and accessible.
University officials say the increase is necessary to offset rising operating costs and remains below the current rate of inflation. Tourism numbers show another big year for the Badger State. Governor Tony Evers says 2025 was the fourth record-breaking year in a row.
Tourism brought in $27 billion, that's billion with a B, in economic impact to our state. That's an average of about $74 million a day.
Milwaukee County alone generated a record of over $4.4 billion in economic impact. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 227 points, NASDAQ down 61, S&P 500 is up 9. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Sound familiar? I can't raise my arms. I can't climb stairs. I can't kneel down, which means I can't play with the kids, golf with the guys, or get through a workday without exhausting pain. I'm here to celebrate what you can do, and that's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing, not bracing for their next jolt of pain. It's gone. They've moved on. Back to living your lives. You've heard me talk about Dr. Caravelli and her team at QC Kinetics, and so many of you have been through their game-changing regenerative treatments done right in the office, no missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down, the pain backs off, and we love hearing from you. How we here at WTMJ helped you dig out from under that long list of can'ts and get back to living your best life. So go find out what you can do. It's a good life out there, folks. Go live it to the fullest. Let's get rid of that pain starting now. The consultation is totally free to see if you're a good candidate. Weekend appointments available. 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics now.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala.
nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers back home. Milwaukee set to begin a 3-game series with the Phillies tonight. Knicks are hoping for their first NBA championship since 1973. Team tips off against the Spurs in Game 5 of the finals from San Antonio tomorrow. The United States begins its World Cup run today, battling Paraguay at SoFi Stadium. And Packers wrapped up their off-season program. Green Bay concluded its minicamp slate Thursday. One more week of OTAs scheduled before breaking until training camp begins. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have a new crash. This is going to be on the exit to Capitol Drive from I-41 North. In Kenosha County, full closure US 45 North and South from Wisconsin 142 to the county line, and 42 east and westbound from County MB North to South due to weather damage.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny and 80 today. Mostly clear tonight with a low 62. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Then a chance of showers and storms later on in the day. High Saturday, 85. Sunny, breezy Sunday, high 70. Sunny on Monday with a high 75. And then Tuesday, another chance for showers and storms with a high of 76. 70 now in Madison and in Green Bay. 73 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Welcome back. Bill McCosh and Joe Zepecki here for one more half hour. And then actually, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley is going to be in studio. I should have said that earlier. We're going to be talking about county stuff less. Might ask him a couple questions about the campaign, but mostly county stuff.
In his favor, only one of our candidates for governor on the Dem side who has met Barry the Wonder Dog.
Really? How big is Barry right now?
He's approaching 70 pounds at about 7.5 months. He's doing great, but we took him to one campaign event because Crowley was right around the corner in Shorewood, and they got to say hello.
Sweet dog.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Talking about the governor's race, though, there was a new, should we call it a leaked poll? Is that basically how we're talking about it? As far as
leaked.
A strategically leaked poll that was part of the Rodriguez campaign that shows Barnes in the lead, but had come down from where he was earlier this year. Then Hong, then Rodriguez, and everyone else basically polling less than 5%.
Right.
We now know they've all made at least the 7 main candidates have made the ballot. Because I asked Bill, I was
Anybody
like,
not make the ballot?
Kirk Bangstead
Kirk
did
Bangstead.
not
So
make
strange.
He
Who
may be trying to challenge that, but he'll lose.
Who could have seen that coming?
Right?
Weird.
Might have even tweeted about that.
God, he's already gotten too much airtime. Let's move on. All right. So with that, we also have the Democratic with Dems convention is this weekend. There will be a straw poll. I don't know how much that will tell us or not tell us. But what are you? I will start with Joe since this is
my
your
account.
party. What are you making as far as? We are seeing some ads, I think. I mean, Joel Brennan came out with an ad, but there still doesn't, this is the thing. So I think you missed Todd's rant yesterday. But it's just feeling like, when do ballots go out for early
26th.
voting? The 26th. And so it still just feels slow. And it does not feel like there is a lot of momentum. But no matter what, we're going to get a candidate out of this primary. And so what tea leaves are you reading right now?
I think every day that the dynamics don't change is a good day for the front runner, who I've told you guys from day one is Mandela Barnes. And until there was a real poll, not the way that Charles Franklin did it, I know that's a real poll overall, but it's not the way you poll a primary. And
tell people why.
Because in this poll that came out from the Rodriguez campaign, they are polling Democratic primary voters.
And that's a screener up front.
Right. And that's
so
you know that.
Yeah.
As opposed to doing a statewide poll, and then within that poll of Republicans and independents and Democrats trying to then figure out of the third of it, which are Democrats or some independents, then trying to figure out who's going to actually vote in a primary. That's not how you do it. That's not how it works. So we don't need to talk about how right I am all the time. It's okay.
And now we see the text line light up.
I've been saying somebody has to change the dynamics of this race or the front runner wins. And
we have been saying.
And in the 21st century, there has never been a Dem primary for governor where anybody other than the front runner has won it.
Right.
And Joel Brennan is the latest this week to say he's going on TV. Great ad. The kids look great. Joel and his wife look great. It's a good message, but there's not a lot of weight behind that ad, right? Decision 1, go up. Decision 2, make people see your content and your message. And on the second part, I'm not sure the weight is what probably his campaign wants it to be, what anybody who is supporting Joel wants it to be. And so it's not, to me, a dynamic game changer, but at least it's something. And so in the coming weeks, we got to figure out who the hell is going to try to change the dynamics of this race.
What would it take to change the dynamics of this race? Is it just more money? Is it more
$1 million
ads? Is it a story?
Somebody
Oppo coming out?
Frontally going at by name saying you should not vote for the front runner because of X, Y, or Z. I don't know what that would be. But if Sarah or Fran, who are sort of in second and third in this poll, in a frontal way took on Barnes, that could potentially change the dynamics. But tie goes to the front runner, or boring goes to the front runner, and that's where we are.
I think what Rodriguez accomplished heading into the Dem convention is she minimized for the candidates. Anyone 5% or below, their race is over. For all intents and purposes, the math doesn't work. There's only 18% who are undecided in that poll. So 18 plus 5, if you're David Crowley, doesn't get you past Mandela Barnes without something else occurring. So I think what she was trying to do is create a dividing line where there's only 3 who are legitimately still in the race, Barnes being at the top, Hong being number 2, and her being number 3. Plus, I think she wants there to be a coalescing of the other moderate groups in the Democratic primary saying, oh, my God, we can't have Fran Hong because she might lose the general. Same with Barnes. Don't forget, Barnes lost a winnable race in 2022 against Ron Johnson. So will there be a backroom deal where Democrats say, we got to load up on Sarah Rodriguez? I don't know the answer to that. It's just as likely that they say, well, heck, we might as well try Barnes again, right? Because at least he came within a half a point of Johnson. He doesn't have all of the extreme positions that Hong has. So we'll see. There's a possibility this poll will actually work for Barnes. But the one thing I will tell you about the poll, it shows that Barnes' support has declined since March. He's -8 since March. Hong has gone up 8 since March. Rodriguez has only gone up 4. It actually demonstrates what Joe and I have been saying, that Hong has run the best campaign. She's got the most compelling message for Democrat primary voters. She's connecting with them. And honestly, $7,500 or donors, whether they gave her $10 or $20, doesn't matter. They are now personally invested in her campaign, and they're going to do what they need to do to help her over the next 60 days. So Hong's in a pretty strong position here.
Well, and that's what so as you said, there's calling a spade, there's fear, right? There's a certain fear of more moderate Democrats as far as what a Francesca Hong general could look like, right? And so, but there is also, I think, the people who really believe in her.
Yeah.
And you look at populist campaigns like Graham Platner, and you look at some of this, like the way her ability to communicate and her way to actually connect to people when she's talking to you face to face. And I think there's a lot of people who also make the argument that she is the most exciting And is there not something with that? So do you think that in a backroom deal of any sort, the fear will overcome and they would try to take her out? Or do you think there's anyone who's actually buying into the potential of what a Hong governor could be?
You both now referenced the idea of backroom Democrats and making deals. They've never been smoke filled. They're certainly not today.
Well, let's be fair though. In 2022, 2 weeks before the both Lasry
but that
and
wasn't
Galuzzi,
a backroom deal. That was 3 other candidates looking at the numbers and going, "I can't win," and trying to save face by getting out of the way. That's very different. That's self-preservation.
So when does that happen here?
So when does that happen here though?
Any week now. But also, I don't know. I think some of these people are in it, come hell or high water. And if they were going to get out, the time to get out would have been before putting their name on the ballot.
100%. But now that they're in, they're all going to stay in until that debate on July 28th. Why? If you put your name on a ballot and go through this for 9 or 10 or 12 months, you want to be on that stage.
Yep.
You want your one shot. It will change nothing for the bottom 4 here. Nothing.
You only get one shot. Do not let your opportunity go.
Hamilton. All right, when we come back, say something nice. You guys are going to be surprised, I think, with what mine is. This is Point Taken.
The news you need to know every weekday on Wisconsin's Morning News.
A vote to raise in-state tuition by 2%. This would be the 4th year in a row tuition would go up after a 10-year tuition freeze.
Every time we've talked about in this country making college more affordable, and I mean lawmakers, all that's meant heretofore has been, let's make loans more accessible. That didn't make it any more affordable. It just made it possible for you to go deep into debt.
Yeah.
I could get a loan for a Ferrari. It's not affordable for me.
Only here on WTMJ.
Walney Legal Group specializes in estate planning, wills, trusts, probate, elder care, and special needs planning. Even if you already have documents in place, you can't just set it and forget it. Life changes, families change, and your estate plan should keep up. Walney Legal Group can review and update your documents every few years or after major life events, and they can also help with elder planning, special needs planning, and transitions into assisted living or nursing home care. Friendly, smart, and sensible. That's why Walney Legal Group. That's why you should pick Walney Legal Group. Visit walneylegal.com to start a conversation, no matter what phase you're in. Walney Legal. WALNY Legal.com.
Wet basements and foundation problems? For over 20 years, Accurate has been the Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing. Whether it's cracked walls, drain tile issues, or water in your basement, they've got you covered. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call Accurate Basement Repair today at 414-744-6900 or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com. They're not just good, they're accurate.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know dads, the ones who know how to build it all, grill it all, and fix it all while still taking the time to share it all. So show them how much you care with great Father's Day gifts for one-of-a-kind dads. Like 20% off select automotive accessories, $350 combined savings on a Craftsman tool chest cabinet combo, plus 16 packs of Duracell AA or AAA batteries, $12.99. Find value on the Gifts Hill value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Yeah. You keep saying your side is better. It's time to say something nice about the other side of the political aisle on Point Taken.
Come on, people now, smile on your brother.
All right, Joseph Pecky, Bill McCoshen. Who would like to go first?
You've been teasing your.
No, I'm going last.
All right, I'll go first. My say something nice this week is former Minnesota Congressman, former presidential candidate Dean Phillips, and it has to do with the California elections. He doesn't specify whether he's talking about the mayoral election or the statewide. It could be either. It could be both. He posted this week on X, let's just count mail-in ballots received by Election Day and end this nonsense. He couldn't be more right. The Supreme Court might actually help him on this. There's a case related to the state of Mississippi that's before the Supreme Court that I thought we might even have a decision today, but we will by next Friday, that will make sure that Election Day is Election Day and you don't get to count votes for 2, 3, or 4 weeks or 36 days after an election. California is an abomination. It needs to end. It destroys the legitimacy of the elections and the people who voted in them.
I can't wait to talk with Jake next week about the Republican conspiracy theories in California.
which do not make any sense whatsoever. In part because of that, I had a really hard time this week. The commitment to the bit by Republicans drives me crazy. So I'm just going to say to Republican Senator Eric Schmidt of Missouri, hell of a catch, man.
Okay.
Put it in the newsletter. The link
Send
to
me
the
the link. Send me the
great
link.
catch by Republican Senator Eric Schmidt playing left field in
bloodied
the
his
congressional
nose,
baseball
bloodied
game.
his elbows.
What a play.
Made top
play of the day.
ESPN top 10.
Should have
how
been play
old
of the
is he?
day. 50 years old.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Great
Good
job,
for him.
Senator.
All right, yeah, send me the link so I can put in the newsletter. Mine is former Governor Scott Walker.
What?
He agreed to sit down for an interview for the documentary. And we wanted, obviously, because he's working with young people with Young American Foundation. And obviously, I think when people point to polarization in Wisconsin, he didn't necessarily own that in the interview as far as how, but he does. He knows it. And this is someone who absolutely did not have to sit down with me, right? Like it's a documentary. Who knows where it's going to happen with it? But thanks to Brian Reisinger, who set up the introduction, and we did it at the Milwaukee Athletic Club. And he was very kind, very cordial. We had a great conversation. Probably still don't agree on a whole lot, but he did not have to do it, and he did. And so my Say Something Nice is for Scott Walker.
Very good.
I did surprise both of you.
Very good.
Yes, you did.
All right, grab bag when we come back.
Since 1957, we've been making great pizzas. The recipe's the same, the dough's made daily like it's always been. The fresh veggies are cut daily, and the quality control remains as high as it's ever been. We gotta keep it high, because we know when you can count on consistency, that it keeps you coming back. So how about Marty's Pizza tonight?
Remember Marty's Pizza. Remember Marty's Pizza.
Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that.
Remember Marty's Pizza.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me, not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem, and I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who will tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Are you thinking about what you're going to do this summer? Maybe into the fall, looking to plan that cool Wisconsin trip, take advantage of the outdoor beauty. Maybe it's museums, maybe it's a family trip, or how about a romantic getaway? We've got you covered on Experience Wisconsin. We're going to twist you around the state, show you some cool places, introduce you to some amazing folks. This week on Experience Wisconsin, it is Elkhart Lakes Road America and iconic Ishnala Supper Club. Saturdays at 1 on WTMJ.
All right. Since we got most of the politics out of our systems, let's finish up with some grab bags.
All right. Who's going first, Joe or Bill?
I'll go first. So this is a shout out to my granddaughter, Carlin, who will graduate from Brookfield East on Sunday. We're looking forward to that. Carlin will be a freshman at UW-Madison this fall. She's going to study forensic nursing, sort of like CSI kind of stuff. So she'll be the one in the courtroom. Yeah, pretty cool. Listen, my son is a single parent and raised her right. She's spectacular. I mentioned this on the air a couple weeks ago when I got to come over and we had a buddy day when my son was in college. She lived with us and she's like our fourth kid, and we had a lot of buddy days when she was little, and we still call it that now. So congratulations, Carlin, on a great run at Brookfield East, and we look forward to seeing you even more now that you're going to be in Madison.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Get your laundry
That's
done.
Awesome. Good luck to her.
Yeah, come over for Sunday night dinner.
Sorry to really change the vibe, but I do think it's worth noting that this week the war between Russia and Ukraine surpassed the length of World War I.
Wow.
It is 1,569 days, 4 years, and 3 months. Slava Ukraine, they are having some success on the battlefield, drive the intruders back, the invaders, and Godspeed to everyone in Ukraine. And I also want to give a nice shout out to a gentleman named Greg, working the late shift at Marcus North Shore Cinema last night. There was a little bit of a technical difficulty in the movie I was seeing, which was Steven Spielberg's new one, Disclosure Day. And Greg, not Greg Marcus, but Greg working at Marcus Theaters could not have been kinder and more helpful. And thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it.
All right, mine is last night for Be the Light, Sojourner Family Peace Center's annual gala. We raised, as of right now, there's still some gifts coming in, but as of right now, we raised $480,000 last night.
Nice.
And
how much?
$480,000.
Was there any liquor there?
There was. There was an open bar. But it was the first time I've ever co-chaired anything. I am so proud to be part of that organization.
That's awesome.
And lend whatever I can as far as my network, my platform, to the work that they do. And the speaker, the survivor last night who spoke, it is an issue that never ceases to amaze me as far as this is domestic violence does not know class, it does not know race, it does not know gender, and it is something as far as the people's right to be safe and the shame that comes when you're not, and what it takes to have a community around you to feel brave enough to try to get the help that you need or your kids need. So I just, as a huge shout out to that organization. And I'm going to try to get through this part without crying. My parents came. They came to town, and so my dad ended up coming, but my poor mom got food poisoning last night, so she couldn't come.
No.
But my dad did get to be there. My brother was there. And I think as I was driving to work today, I was reflecting on who my parents were in Madison. And, you know, my dad started the Boys and Girls Club in Madison and all the different volunteering work that they did as a couple, as individuals. And there was something very full circle about getting to have them there, even my mom in spirit, of like just how they raised me, right? And so the fact that of like what you do to give back to your community and the ways that you show up. And so that was very cool.
Speaking of the Boys and Girls Club, we should probably also note the passing suddenly and very tragically of Michael Johnson. What an incredible force for good in his community.
Yep.
Just a light of, the
He'll
leadership
be
class in
deeply missed.
Madison. Yeah.
Really
enormous
suddenly.
shoes to fill. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, now we have a minute.
How was the text line today?
It was good.
I hope we gave the people what they wanted, given that Bill will be on assignment the next couple of weeks.
2 more weeks. Yeah,
Well, maybe we
we're
should
going to
tease it.
Italy.
We're going to try to do a podcast the week of the 4th of July.
Right.
So we can both go blue. We can talk about what this country means to us.
Yep.
And what we're thinking about as the nation approaches 250.
Put it into the universe. We will do it. We're not going to try. We will.
When I get back, we'll all be here, all four, I think, a couple times. And by then, we will have a new Marquette poll. We'll have finance reports for the gubernatorial campaign.
Not by July 9th. It'll be the next week, and I'm gone that week.
He's gone July 10th, so
it'll be a while then. Yeah.
A month-ish.
60
Summer's
days
hard,
if you're
man.
counting to the primary.
Summer's hard to get everyone's schedules to
144
align.
to the general.
But I will say we definitely hear it on the text line when you guys aren't here. So this is by far our most, as good as Steve and I are together, this is by far our most popular show of the week every week. So good on you.
We love the people back.
Yes, absolutely.
Even when they don't like us.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you as always. Very fun show. Thanks for keeping me on my toes on this slow Friday. And when we come back after the news, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley is here in the flesh. But first, ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry. Preston, a deadly shooting situation has been going on in Midland, Texas.
We do have 11 known victims at this time. There's at least one victim that is dead on the scene.
Midland Mayor Lori Blong says police have established a perimeter. A local news report was quoting witnesses as saying 2 people were shot while waiting at a stoplight and that the shooter is now barricaded inside a building. A federal judge has issued an injunction blocking President Trump's $1.8 billion fund to benefit those who claim to have been victimized by the Biden administration. There's no deal yet officially announced or signing scheduled between the United States and Iran, even though Iran's foreign minister says an agreement has never been closer. SpaceX stock, just issued today, has been trading at about $162, higher than the initial offering price, and that means SpaceX is worth $2 trillion, and founder Elon Musk is officially the world's first trillionaire. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. Wisconsin revenue agents and local police were at the Minocqua Brewing Company as part of an alcohol-related investigation. Witnesses telling the Lakeland Times agents with the Department of Revenue's Division of Alcohol Beverages were seen removing cases of beer from the brewery and loading them into vehicles Thursday afternoon. Authorities have not said what prompted the action as the investigation is ongoing. The brewery's owner, Kirk Bengstad, recently came up short in his bid to make Wisconsin's gubernatorial ballot after election officials determined he failed to submit enough ballot signatures. Thursday afternoon's round of storms causes 2 fires in Waukesha County. The Western Lakes Fire District says the structures in 2 separate villages were struck by lightning. Crews responded to 1 fire on the shore of Golden Lake in the village of Summit on Sunset Drive, another in the village of Lac La Belle on Lac La Belle Drive. Images from both fires show the structures reduced to a charred skeleton. Unclear what the buildings were or if anybody was hurt. Wisconsin residents can now check 2 items off their to-do list at once. A new program will allow drivers to purchase an annual state park pass when they renew their vehicle registration. The partnership between DMV and the Department of Natural Resources allows customers to make 1 payment and receive both items in a single mailing. Time for some news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 290 points, 51,139. NASDAQ up 24, 25,834. S&P 500 up 23 points at 7,417. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still working a crash on the exit to Capitol Drive from I-41, US 45 North. Kenosha County full closure, 45 North and South from Wisconsin 142 to the county line, and 142 east and westbound from County MB North to South. Also closed due to weather damage there. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny, 80 today for the high. Clear and 62 overnight. Chance of showers and storms later tomorrow after a high of 84. Sunny, breezy on Sunday with a high 70. Mostly sunny Monday with a high 75. Partly cloudy Tuesday with a chance of showers and storms and a high of 76. Still 70 in Madison and Green Bay, 73 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstad here. Stop me if you've said this before. I can't raise my arms. I can't climb stairs. I can't even kneel down. Can't play with my kids, can't golf with my friends, or even get through a work day without exhausting joint pain. Well, how about we start celebrating what you can do? That's what patients at QC Kinetics are doing. They're not dealing with the pain, they're living their lives. QC Kinetics and its game-changing regenerative treatments done right at their office means no surgery, no missing work, and no long recovery. The inflammation calms down and the pain backs off. You and I both know life is great, and it's time to start living it again without that joint pain. Call QC Kinetics today. Here's the number, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Schedule your free consultation. They'll even meet you on a Saturday. QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. Call QC Kinetics today.
When it's time to explore assisted living, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association to promote whereyouLiveMatters.org. I'm Mike from the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association. For over 30 years, our organization of more than 2,000 facility members has led through advocacy, education, and support to help advance quality care. That's why Wisconsin families trust WALA. When it's time to search for assisted living for yourself or a loved one, visit whereyouLiveMatters.org.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes. redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. I mean, there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
Or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen Bry. We got one more half hour until the weekend is here. Steve will be back on Monday. And joining me now in studio is Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, here to talk county stuff. Some not the easiest topics either, I mind you. And I asked you, I said I was been joking all show that I've been tired, but you have I'm sure are very tired.
I am. Juggling all the things I got going on, but as I always say, I bring my own weather wherever I go. So
that's a good way to live.
Every day's a good day.
All right. So there's been some federal agents who have been investigating an election that happened 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And so get us up to speed as far as what do we think they're looking for, and how many people have they actually interviewed so far that were election workers?
Yeah. So just let's go all the way back to 2020. So, we had an individual here in the state of Wisconsin that filed about 14 different frivolous lawsuits against Milwaukee County related to the 2020 election. And so 13 of those lawsuits have been thrown out, but one has been constantly delayed, and we have not been able to get it thrown out. And so because of that particular lawsuit, we have been forced, in a sense, to basically keep the absentee ballots, but also the ballot book, right? The poll book, which can actually, if they get their hands on this, right, they'll be able to actually see who filed an absentee ballot because it has a number on it, and then compare that to the poll book to see exactly who voted. And so we've been constantly fighting back. As of right now, we've had, and more, I want to be very clear, Milwaukee County is willing to participate in any type of investigation. But this does not look like a good faith investigation because no one has contacted our officials. We have seen FBI agents going to the private residence of our election commission director to try to interview her.
Who didn't hold that job.
Who did not hold that job.
In 2020.
No, they did not. And so we know that they have interviewed some Milwaukee police officers and things of that nature. But as of right now, we have not been contacted. But we have been we've been meeting constantly. We've partnered with a nonprofit organization called the Democracy Defenders to make sure that we're not only protecting our employees, but continuing to fight in court about the fact that none of this should be happening right now. And so, when I look at this, Kristen, it reminds me of remember the movie with Tom Cruise, The Minority Report, where
throwback.
It's a throwback movie, right? But in a sense, you're basically saying that there's fraud, but we don't know if there's fraud, and it's just like, if there's no evidence, how in the world are you saying that we need to do an investigation to say that there is fraud, right? And so if we should be looking at anything, right, I think the president should be looking in the mirror related to the types of fraud that many of us have seen in the public. But we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to protect people's rights to vote and our sacred ability to keep our ballots private.
Have you talked to any of the people who've been interviewed by FBI agents?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not. I know that our Milwaukee County officials have not had an interview specifically with the FBI agents as of right now. But at the end of the day, you can contact us. You can call us. We're willing to participate with any investigation. We just want to see this being a really good effort and not just trying to continue to spew these conspiracy theories that we don't have fair and safe elections here in the state of Wisconsin.
So what are the different options of how this could end up, as far as, is it just going to keep going until, because that's just the thing, it seems like there's a lot of I don't know if secrecy is the right word, but like you said, it's like we don't really know what they're getting asked, when they're getting interviewed. Do we know what they're looking for? There's this risk of some people's ballots being public of how they ended up voting, which obviously no one wants that. And so what are the different ways that this could end up?
Well, one, this frivolous lawsuit that we've had against us, from this guy who doesn't live in Milwaukee County, we need that thrown out. That would start the process of giving us the ability.
And whose court is that in right now?
That is in a Milwaukee County court.
Okay.
I think it's in Judge Yamashiro's courtroom. And so if that case is thrown out, that will provide the process, give us the ability to start destroying these ballots moving forward. But if they decide that they're going to seize these ballots, then I look forward to seeing the Trump administration in court.
Okay. then there's pushback from the next leader from the Wisconsin Elections Commission saying that he doesn't think you or Josh Call are doing enough.
What is there for us to do when this is in the court systems, right? And it's, we're talking about the head of the Wisconsin Election Commission. What are they doing, right, to actually stave off these frivolous lawsuits that are doing nothing but hurting the integrity of our elections moving forward? And so he can give all of these, whatever he is saying. I don't even know what he's saying because he hasn't even contacted us to actually have a conversation as far as where we are in this process. But at the end of the day, we're doing what we can do. It is about this frivolous lawsuit. And if he thinks that we need to do more, then he needs to join the court case and actually getting these things thrown out.
And what would need to happen for it to get thrown out as far as where it is in the court system right now?
From what I've heard, Kristen, is that, they've had many different hearings, but the guy who is who has filed these frivolous lawsuits, if I'm not mistaken, he's changed lawyers each and every single time. So it's been delaying and delaying and delaying the court process.
Got it.
And so that's where we are right now. And so we just basically need to find a resolution so we can figure out how we can move forward. But again, protects people's right to privacy when it comes down to their ballot.
Is this one of the last counties? I mean, obviously we know what's happening in Georgia.
Yeah.
But how many different counties is this still being an issue, like the relitigation of 2020?
I'm not. I know 3 counties, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's one other county other than us in Fulton County that has been had conversations around. But I think that's about it as far as right now. But again, let's move forward. Right? How do we focus on making life more affordable? How do we focus on bringing housing on board? How do we focus on strengthening our public schools and getting out of this, this war that we're in so we can have gas prices go down versus trying to go back in time and relitigate, the 2020 election where every single court in the state of Wisconsin and across this country basically said Donald Trump lost.
All right. So speaking of finances, when we come back, let's talk about Milwaukee County finances, which looks a little bleak. So let's talk about some innovative solutions to get us whole. So he is Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. I am Kristen Bry, and this is Point Taken.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and chief metaphor officer. What do you have for us this time?
Dad, for a lot of sellers, selling their home is like handing over a family photo album. Every room in that house has a birthday memory or a trombone lesson or that last Mother's Day brunch before the kids moved out. The seller isn't just transferring a deed, they're saying farewell to a chapter of their life.
So buyers need to walk through the front door with that in mind.
Absolutely. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a transfer of trust. Sellers and their agents are looking to say yes to the buyer who is strong enough and safe enough to make good on their offer.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and a thoughtfully crafted offer that tells the seller, I will show up.
Because when the seller is deciding who will get the keys and the metaphorical family photo album,
you want them to feel the best about handing them to you.
Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com.
That bathroom of yours, its look has more than worn out its welcome. And a remodeling job? Right now, that's just a little too steep for your checkbook. Well, Lester's Glass Service can give your bathroom a fresh new look, an affordable upgrade that can really produce some pretty desirable results. You could replace that drab shower curtain and install a gorgeous new glass shower door. Why don't you come by our showroom in Hales Corners? And when you get here, we can share with you the myriad of options you have available. Decorative glass, stained glass, beveled mirrors, improvements you may not have realized you could do. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service, and glass and mirrors have been our business for over 35 years. You know, my dad Les says, when you're good, you last. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Milwaukee Weight Loss knows the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no drugs or surgery, and they will show you how to keep it off for good. Get your confidence and your health back. Right now, $200 off on their summer special for a limited time only. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to book your free consultation. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen Bry here with Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. And we have some a 5-year fiscal forecast report for the county. And, I don't think it's a secret that the city, cities everywhere. I think local municipalities and counties across the state are struggling with budgets,
absolutely.
right? Like, this is not a unique to Milwaukee thing, but we are the biggest county. We are the biggest city, and which comes with bigger budgets and bigger problems and sometimes bigger shortfalls. And so the 5-year outlook does not look great.
Yeah.
I won't bore people with the numbers, because if you're anything like me, sometimes you hear numbers and they go in one ear out the other. But I will say by 2031, the deficit is on track to balloon to $168 million. Yeah. So this sounds bad. This is, this is your terrain as far as your current job, even though we know you're running for governor. And so what are we looking at? What are options? Because there's obviously, we either have to cut stuff and or raise revenue. And so let's start at least with the innovative ideas for raising revenue, given the restrictions we have that the state puts on counties' ability to do that.
I mean, that's what this really boils down to, is that the state of Wisconsin has really handcuffed, municipalities, cities, towns, villages, counties, to where they can't raise their own revenues, nor actually invest in the programs and services they're mandated to invest in. And so here in Milwaukee County, what's extremely unique for just us is that 74% of all the property tax levy that we take in from property tax owners in Milwaukee County are going to state-mandated services. So for every dollar that we bring in, 74 cents from those property taxes are paying for public safety. So that's related to the jail, that's related to the sheriffs, that's related to some of the highway patrol. Even though we got some reimbursements for that, it's not the total cost. But also our state-mandated services. We're the only county in the entire state that has a community reintegration center, right, which is basically our misdemeanor prison in a sense. And so that's $50 million plus alone, And then when you take into account our non-mandated services, which is our most used amenities, right? That's our parks, right? Mm-hmm. That's many of our mental health services that we provide. That is our Milwaukee County transit system. And so we have put in place, and we've been able to work with the state legislature in a bipartisan fashion to bring, revenue generating tools back down. But now as we move forward, July, we're going to see a lot of the departmental requests as it relates to the budget. And we know as we move forward, we got to look at, one, are there redundancy in many of the programs and services that we provide? How can we create more efficiencies? But we have to get creative as far as the revenues that we're bringing in. Many folks may not know that we don't have a lot of tools in the toolbox other than the vehicle registration fee as a county. And nobody wants to see that go up. But is this going to require stronger partnerships at the state level, stronger partnerships at the federal level to make sure that we can continue to provide the services? What I would like to see ideally is that we have a 50-50 split when it comes down to state-mandated services so we can continue to invest in the programs and services that so many people rely on.
So when you say a 50-50 split, you mean with the state?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's the money that would be coming back from a state budget as
Correct.
far as, because that I think is, like I said, this is not unique to Milwaukee as far as how many different counties, how many different cities are saying, even with a new shared revenue deal, it is not enough.
It is absolutely not enough. And again, people need to understand, it's not just a Milwaukee problem, right? The reason why it's a bigger deficit for Milwaukee County is because we are the largest, most populated county with the more challenges than any other county. And so when you see that big budget, just imagine if we have a code, that means many of these smaller communities probably have the flu because they're not getting enough revenues to actually keep up.
And so ultimately, like you said, there's creative ways, there's finding ways to cut costs, there's maybe public-private partnerships or whatever.
Absolutely.
There's a bunch of different things that we think about. But is it always going to be a Band-Aid until there's a renegotiation at the state level of how state income taxes get allocated across the state?
I mean, let's face it, the shared revenue formula that we have, which is 100 plus years old, is antiquated, right? I don't know any person or any business that's been able to do the exact same thing for 100 plus years and continue to be successful without pivoting. And so we as a state, we need to pivot. And so this means that we have to take a hard look at revenues, how we spend money, but also let's take a look at what other states are doing. How can we adopt that here? And let's have an open and transparent discussion with the public and making sure that we're rowing in the right direction. So we really need a true fix at the state level, but that takes political will of legislators and the next governor.
So you were in the assembly before you had this job, and I think your reputation is there's a lot of Republicans who like you, and that you're also just a likable guy. But as far as in the relationships that you have with Republicans in the legislature, what is their holdout of holding on to this system as the shared revenue? Knowing that like some of it was changed with the last deal, but as far as, because it's not a partisan issue. Like there was Republican county executives, there was Republican mayors also saying the same thing. And so what is the argument to keep it as it is?
There's no argument to keep it as it is. It's just easy to keep it as it is. I don't think that people are willing to do the hard work in the legislature. And granted, we got an election coming up right now. And I think there's going to be a lot of new faces on both sides of the aisle. And we just need to make sure that we're electing individuals who are coming with the political will to actually solve the problem, because we can't continue to put Band-Aids over broken limbs in the state.
Do you think does it surprise you that it's not more of a front and center campaign issue as far as the potential for, if like we keep talking about a potential trifecta for Democrats, that is not, because I feel like we talk about it, but I don't feel like it's talked about as much as a real bipartisan way to campaign of what that would benefit everyone across the state. Does that surprise you that people don't talk about it more on the campaign trail, whether for governor or down ballot?
Well, honestly, I think people don't talk about it as much because I'm the one who understands it more than anyone, and actually have fixed these types of problems and been in the thick of these things, and so that will really show how the strength, of my candidacy, because I'm the only executive in this race. I spent 7 years in the state capitol, so I know exactly how Madison works. And so for me, when I think about those experiences and putting them together, this is about how we can form like Voltron in the state legislature and really get things done. And so, but let's also be clear that there's a lot of distractions happening in the world right now. Right?
You think?
And so it is hard for people to be focusing on what is happening with their local unit of government when they're steady going to the gas pump and seeing those gas prices rising. They're going to the grocery store and seeing those groceries prices rising. They're opening up, their utility bills and seeing the energy costs rising. And so those are the immediate needs that's on people's minds. But if you don't have a level of government that can provide public safety, that can provide the public infrastructure, or public health, or invest in housing and mental health, everything starts to crumble. And so for me, I'm looking at the health of our entire state. And health isn't just mental and physical. It's money in your pocket. It's all these different things.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go. Let's take a break. We'll come back and quickly say goodbye with Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. This is Point Taken.
It's been almost 70 years, and Marty's Pizza is still going strong in Delafield.
Hey, you keep the pizza tasty, and our loyal fans will keep on coming.
I think Marty's Pizza can hang right up there with anyone.
100% real mozzarella cheese, because we just can't skimp. The freshest veggies, and a sauce recipe that's Hall of Fame worthy.
And our crust? I never see anyone throwing our crust away.
Remember Marty's Pizza right off of I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield, because it's delicious. James, we'll be running this place together for a while. And one day, hopefully, you and your kids will be doing the same.
That's the plan, Dad. And we're making changes so we stay ahead of the game.
Like the new Marty's Pizza Delafield.com?
We've made it extremely easy for both our young and older customers to make fast online orders.
It is really convenient, but if you like to call your orders in, a friendly Marty's Pizza employee will be there to answer with a smile.
Remember Marty's Pizza, right off of I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield.
And at marty'spizzadelafield.com.
Beautiful day for Brewers baseball. Brats in one hand, your Brewers checking card from Associated Bank is in the other. And with a tap, it's 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. An express entry so you can tailgate longer. And up to 50% off home game tickets. All that power, all for the crew. Only with Brewers checking from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
Penny Mustard's double-sided hybrid mattresses combine a supportive coil spring center with specialty foam.
A flippable mattress that will change the way you sleep.
It also improves your Wi-Fi signal and eliminates bedhead.
No.
But every mattress is made in Wisconsin and built to last.
Plus, your new hybrid mattress removes wrinkles and reduces small talk.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
Okay, fine. Results may vary.
Come see our selection of double-sided hybrid mattresses at Penny Mustard.
PennyMustard.com.
I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Our business leaders value downtown Milwaukee.
I'm Paul Sternlieb, CEO of Enerpac Tool Group. We moved our headquarters to downtown Milwaukee earlier this year, and we love it. Downtown has such a vibrant atmosphere. Our dynamic new workplace here will help us expand our business and attract and retain world-class talent.
Get down to business at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Are you thinking about what you're going to do this summer? Maybe into the fall, looking to plan that cool Wisconsin trip, take advantage of the outdoor beauty. Maybe it's museums. Maybe it's a family trip. Or how about a romantic getaway? We've got you covered on Experience Wisconsin. We're going to twist you around the state, show you some cool places, introduce you to some amazing folks. This week on Experience Wisconsin, it is Elkhart Lakes Road America and iconic Ishnala Supper Club. Saturdays at 1 on WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, we're already over time, but I will ask one more question since we mostly talked about the county. Are you looking forward to the Wisconsin Democratic Convention this weekend?
Oh, I absolutely am looking forward to the Democratic Convention. It's always a good time. You know, and it's really a good time for us to rally up the troops, really focus on what our campaigns are going to be focusing on. And, you know, I can't wait to give my speech on Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon.
I can't wait to hear a recording of it because I will be celebrating my birthday this weekend with friends, so I will
birthday.
not be there. Thank you. All right, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, thank you for spending time with us. This has been Point Taken. We will see you back on Monday. News is next.
Are you sick and tired of overpriced fish fries? I am. I recommend